correct. Now are we starting now? Yeah. Should we wait for some time, maybe for 3 more minutes so people can connect? Amazing.
We can start now. Okay.
We can start now. Okay. All right. So I see that people are connecting. So let's start from the introductions. So hello everyone who is already with us and who is currently connecting. I'm welcome today for today's online webinar, Cracking the Puzzle Code, Innovate, Engage, and Monetize, proudly organized by SocialPeta. We're thrilled to have you here, and we bring together leading voices from across the industry to uncover what truly drives success in Europe's puzzle game market today. Today's discussion will give you actionable insights into innovative design, smarter user acquisition, and data-driven monetization frameworks to help you navigate this fast-changing landscape. And my name is Melania. I'm the head of growth at Elevatix. It's a machine learning-powered monetization engine that helps mobile game grow revenue with real-time segmentation and personalization and personalized in-app offers. And I'm honored to moderate today's discussion with 5 fantastic speakers who bring wealth of experience and their perspectives. So please join me in welcoming Bastian, Ksenia, Mertkan, Kagatay, and Oleg. And let's start with quick introductions. So Bastian, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Melania. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone on the panel. Hi, everyone in the audience. I'm Bastian. I am working at Jampp, a mobile DSP. I've been in the programmatic industry since 2017. Previous to that, I've been working for a couple of Facebook marketing partners. So overall in performance marketing since 2012, 13 years, almost longer, crazy to say. But yeah, so I've seen the walled garden side, as they say, the network side, but then also the programmatic side. So hopefully I can contribute a little bit, promoting programmatic, making it an appealing channel for the audience. Work with gaming advertisers such as Playrix, King, across all kind of puzzle categories. Thanks for having me on the panel.
Thank you. Ksenia, over to you. Could you please introduce yourself quickly?
Definitely. Thanks for having me. So yes, I'm Ksenia, I'm Demand Partnership Manager at adjoe. And at adjoe, I work with top mobile game advertisers across EMEA, and I help them scale effectively with our rewarded solutions. And also to give a bit more context, I started over 10 years ago. And before I helped gaming companies develop their games from scratch. And at the moment, I focus mostly on user acquisition and growth in the rewarded space. So yes, with this mixture of experiences, happy to share my insights today.
Great, thank you. Mertkan, please go ahead.
Hello, so I'm Mertcan. I'm one of the growth managers in MagicLab Game Technologies. I've been working as a growth manager for about like 4 years from now on, and mostly I'm focused on the user acquisition side, trying to find new partners and trying to scale the existing ones and trying to scale our own games so that we can, generate some profit from those games. And I think that's it on my side. Thank you also introducing us.
Thank you. Kagatay, over to you. Yeah.
Hello, again. Thank you very much for introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Çağatay, and I'm the key account manager of SocialPeta at IMEA region. At SocialPeta, I partner with the top brands and developers to decode market trends, optimize advertising strategies, and scale user growth with using real-time global data. So every day I analyze the exact trends that we are going to discuss today, on which apps are winning on, winning on downloads, or where the ad dollars are flowing, and how creatives are driving disruption. So I'm thrilled to share actionable insights from our latest data with you today.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Oleg, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Oleg. I'm started to develop games like 16 years ago. I found my first game built for Pocket PC on Windows Mobile. And after that, I have built a platform for text quests in Russia segment with around 2 million downloads, and a lot of other games, different experiments, different directions. And after that, I went for PlayerX to PlayerX for 8 years and have a chance to see magnificent development and story of evolving of game market from inside. Now I am consultant game design and help studios to make their games more profitable and have more revenue. That's basically the most important things. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for your introductions. Just a quick reminder for all our speakers, please feel free to drop your emails or LinkedIn and share it in the chat so our participants can also connect with you, or maybe they can reach out to you after the webinar. And the first question we have for today, so this question will be for everyone. So I will again ask everyone to share their opinion on it. And the first topic for discussion that we have is: the European puzzle game market is becoming increasingly competitive and diverse. In your view, what are the key factors developers and marketers must focus on to stand out and achieve sustainable growth in 2025? So, Bastian, let's start with you.
Amazing. Yeah, maybe to highlight, not quite sure about the audience there, but as a DSP, we're all about user acquisition, retargeting, so I can cover marketing efforts here in this panel. I know it's a very diverse panel, and you get all angles from us today. From what we are seeing versus a few years ago, yes, gaming space, puzzle space has become increasingly competitive. I do remember probably like 3-4 years ago, even on programmatic, advertising spend was around 6 figures per day with the top guys there, the largest gaming advertisers. So as long as you were hitting ROAS goals, ROAS day 7, companies just scaled. I think that has changed. CPMs have increased. There's a big part on the creative side that we're coming to, how to combat that. But overall, CPMs have increased dramatically. So even the big players need to look into managing their budgets more efficiently. And what we're seeing is that now the measurement goes beyond the typical day 3, day 7 ROAS or LTV even, but mostly shifting into incrementality as well. This is something, so at Jampp we're working with gaming and non-gaming, so we also work with big e-commerce companies, retailers, well, Amazon, Apple, and what you have. Food delivery is a big field, and having worked with both sides for 8 years, I always figured that the non-gaming side was more advanced on incrementality just because they had to. They didn't have such big budgets to play around with. So I had to become smarter already many years ago. And now the gaming side, the puzzle side seems to be adopting that much more, looking into incremental CPAs, incremental ROAS. So this is a trend for sure. In fact, just now I had a call with a very big, well, hybrid casual player out there, and they asked their data analytics team, it was in the end, they asked for an introduction to head of performance of a big food delivery company after I said that all the budget allocation is based on incrementality across all partners. High focus on efficiency. Still, yes, reach is important. There's another trend to highlight, CTV. I think that has emerged probably in the last 18, 24 months. Big topic out there. People still jumping on it. I think here, of course, the gaming space has been an early adopter. There are some challenges. Measurement has become very advanced. I think pretty much all the MMPs are allowing to measure it. Incrementality is a bit more challenging there, but overall it gives you a good idea about attributions, assisted installs, but also insights on revenue. So it's a great channel on our end. We see it as a natural part of our user acquisition strategy. So when we start a UA campaign, mobile is just one placement, then another placement is CTV, so it works hand in hand. There's a bit of a caveat. It's big in the US. It's the principal market for CTV. Then you've got India, Japan. Europe is a bit challenging just because of GDPR. The targetable inventory is limited, but that's been certainly a trend in gaming over the past 18 months. So if you guys in the audience haven't looked into that yet, check it out, make it part of your UA strategy, retargeting strategy as well. And then the third thing, obviously in context with AI, people started playing around a lot on the creative side. Of course, we see creative teams getting smaller, but also more efficient and more creative. In the end of the day, you need to play around, being smart with your prompts. But that has become a very strong focus in order to decrease CPMs, improve click-through rates. In the programmatic space, it's an auction model, similar to the walled gardens, Facebook, Google. Of course, the better the click-through rates, the more auctions you're winning, hence performance is getting better. Also, our team has been experimenting a lot. The latest what I've seen on customer side, we've taken their videos, played a lot around with voiceovers there, with our internal AI there. Obviously, when it comes down to regional aspects, playing around with language there to a regional level actually, and play around with different dialects. I mean, India is a massive market, so you can now just really quickly enhance your creatives there. So yeah, overall efficiency, incrementality when it comes down to part of the measurement. Then in terms of reach, CTV, and then creators would be like the three pillars that we can see.
Thank you, Bastian. That's a really strong perspective. And Ksenia, what's your take?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. And I think many things Bastian mentioned are really important. I also confirm that European market is pretty competitive, pretty diverse. I think it's fourth biggest globally. And here we think about more than 40 countries, different languages, different player behaviors, and also different economical situation in every country. And what is pretty challenging for advertisers, publishers, developers, that market is very fragmented, meaning that what works probably in Germany, in the UK, France, probably won't work in Eastern European countries. As far as I know, in Eastern Europe, developers often monetize with ads, but in countries like Germany, IEP is really stronger. And what I would like to mention here, I think the first one pillar to success would be product innovation. As we all know that puzzle games, they look pretty simple. They keep users hooked for a really long time. And if we think about games like Block Blast from Hungry Studio or Color Blood Jam, these games are fantastic. And at the same time, they are really straightforward. But behind the scene, we have constant innovation, constant A/B testing. And with these games, users, they feel challenged and they don't feel bored. So product is very important, and innovative product is very important nowadays, especially in Europe. Second pillar I would think about is localization. And I'm not talking here about just plain text translation. It is also about how you tailor your art, how you design, how you do monetization, how you promote your game in a specific region. For example, in northern countries, users, they like pretty clean, minimal design, and in the south they like very colorful, casual match 3. So it's also pretty different, and you need to consider this from the very beginning. And the third point would be marketing, definitely, that completely shifted lately, and it's not about generating cheap installs anymore. So this strategy, like spray and pray, doesn't work out nowadays. With the rising CPIs, with privacy changes, studios can't afford just chasing volumes, and they focus on finding high quality users, and users who will stay long, and on users who will engage. So to sum up what I just mentioned, I would say that you should be quite innovative with your product, localize smartly, and focus on high quality users.
Excellent points, Ksenia. Thank you so much for sharing your opinion. Mertkan, over to you. So what do you think on this question?
Okay, so from the publisher's perspective, I think the most important one is the production, as it is mentioned like earlier. So while providing users a generic game, like focusing on a mass audience, that's something simple to pick up to, but still engaging enough to keep people coming back, is the crucial and most important thing for us at the beginning, while generating our initial games. And I think other than that, the ad side, like the videos and playbills, are playing very important point for our games at the moment, because they're often the first touch point with players, and it is the one that helps us to understand what our potential users want to see and what they don't want to see, for example. Because 90% of the time your creatives will not perform well, and you will trying to chase the 10% of the best points, let's say, while testing creatives. So it is the another thing that you need to focus on also. And lastly, yeah, it is the marketing game at the moment. So, but focusing on the marketing is just a little bit different at the moment. You have to focus on more than one network, because it is not a single acquisition source anymore. Because in order to survive in this ecosystem, you have to chase for multiple acquisition sites. For example, in our company, we are probably working around like 20 to 30 plus active networks, and we're trying to increase these numbers all the time, because we believe that UA diversity is the key if you're trying to, generate some revenue, generate some profit from those games in the long run. And the long run is not like 1 year or 2 years. It should be around like 5 to 10 years. And those are the goals that we are focusing on at the moment. I think these are the major points that I see as essential for the long-term success, especially not only in Europe, but also for the other countries as well.
Great insights, thank you. So, Jagate, am I pronouncing correct? Yes?
Yeah, it's very correct. It's Çağatay, but it's hard to pronounce in Turkish as well. It's a difficult name, so no problem.
Okay, sorry, Jagate. So how do you see it? What's your opinion?
So I agree with Mertcan on a couple of things. So I will share some data on which creative types are the most successful, and how you can optimize your campaigns with the creative differentiation and network diversification. So puzzle is the one of the most competitive genres in Europe right now. So just I'd like to give you an idea about it. Puzzle games had nearly 90% of their ad impressions coming from video creatives in the first half of the year. So we share this in our marketing paper for the first half of the year. So the volume is really massive and standing out is tough. So to achieve the sustainable growth, I see four key focus areas. Like the first is creative differentiation. So most puzzle ads rely on same brain teaser, or failure challenge formats, and players are getting fatigued. So what really works are short, story-driven, meme-style creatives that feel fresh for and relatable, especially on some hot areas in the region. So second of all is it's all about retention, not just acquisition. With CPIs are climbing, keeping players engaged is critical. So we know that 96 percent of the purchase revenues came from the users active in the first 2 days. So that means that developers need to add light progression, social elements, and personalization to extend player lifetime value. So third is trust matters in Europe, Europe's major audience base. So these users are savvy, and so creatives need to highlight clear value, like things like free to play, brain training, or even authentic testimonials can make a big difference on the creative side. And finally, channel diversification. It's very important. Relying on social ads is risky, so maybe you can use like OEM placements on Android devices or customer product page on iOS, and playable ads all provide ways to reach and qualify the right players at lower costs. So for me, the takeaway is this: in 2025, success for puzzle games in Europe is not about how many downloads you get. It's about how many players you actually keep.
That is very valuable. Thank you so much. And Oleg, please, over to you. Please share your thoughts as well.
Thank you very much. So my suggestions will overlap with some of previous speakers. So yes, the most important point is definitely retention. And I want to stick to day 90 retention just for the beginning and have a very high plan for that. While you're planning the game, in early stages of productions, be targeted to really high retention of late stages. And I believe best way to achieve it now is to be with the player. So try to put yourself on the player place as tightly, as deeply as you can. Use playtests, use real life playtests, like talking with people, giving them their phones and look. And of course, have more contact with players on forums, on on comments in store pages, and so on and so on. So studios are very often become indifferent and depersonalized in terms of players. Separating from players by the wall of analytics and data and things like that. This is very important when you plan some feature to try to be the player and think about feelings of player, because after all, this is game which must be fun or interesting or challenging or something like that. This is what many studios unfortunately lose in the progress, and this is what must be in focus to keep retention well too, of course. Second important thing is to adjust your gameplay, adjust your meta to the 2025 reality. So players and live becomes faster and faster and faster, and every day you need to provide more progress, quicker game, faster progress, more signals to the brain, more feedback from the game to the player. At to keep the same results, like in Alice in Wonderland. You need to run faster and faster, and at the same time, you need to hit harder on long progressions too. Those players, they are not only looking under the face, like they're not only search for rewards for brain here and now. They want stronger long-term goals too, and they need stronger and they need more intense goals, more intense wishing, challenges, goals for the to have some reason to carry on, to continue to play. So if you just have some general I don't know, season passes and daily quests, it doesn't work anymore. Like you can have like +5, +10% from this, from one, but it won't work for a long time. It will burn out quickly, and you need to have this in acceleration in the short term of the supplying users' brain with emotions and activity, and in the long term too. This is the reality. You need to be more bold in the beginning and in the end of the journey. It's not really end, but like it's see. And third, third important point as for me is from the development side, as well as was mentioned before too. Studios, from my point of view, need to be focused on speed of development, because the market is extremely, liquid, changeable, and very fast. But usual ways to achieve that may not work with such lot required speed. So the best way of achievement this way is keeping processes efficient. So efficiency must be key stone of all processes in the studio. Less meetings, less confirmations, more trust to the team members, and basically this is a very big thing to talk about. Speed up by increasing efficiency, by creating a solid one body team working in trust and self-learning, basically things like that. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Fantastic, Oleg. Thank you so much. And thank you all for the opening insights. Let's move on to some specific questions tailored to each of you. And we'll start with Bastian. So, Bastian, the question that we have for you is, from Jampp's perspective, what are the most effective ways puzzle publishers can leverage data signals and personalization to reach high-value players? And what challenges does programmatic advertising face, and how is this Jampp addressing them?
Cool. Thanks for having the pleasure being the first in this panel. Yeah, I guess here it's about the advantages and disadvantages or challenges of programmatic. First of all, Mertkan, thanks for sharing your insights, saying that you are working 20 to 30 networks. I suppose you're also working with DSPs on the programmatic side. In that case, here I'm always trying to gauge first when I'm talking to advertisers which networks they work with, because oftentimes there's a misconception when they speak about DSPs, because some of the networks claim to be DSPs, demand side platforms, and then I know, okay, what is the knowledge? Maybe just to recap what the DSP does for the audience here, and because that is one of the advantages and limitations. So a DSP is buying traffic via an exchange programmatically in real time, meaning that a DSP in programmatic, there is no owned inventory, like you have with actual networks, SDK networks. AppLovin is a big one, certainly that everyone is aware of. Of course, Meta, or all the social networks, TikTok and Google. So they have tons of first-party data. So many more signals from the get-go that you don't have in programmatic. So one of the challenges, and I think gaming has so far already adapted programmatic really well, or the puzzle games have been always in the forefront, given the budgets that they are. But yeah, in programmatic, it takes some time. So we've got now much stronger algorithms, much stronger models than we used to have 3 or 4 years ago. The optimizations were more static, based on linear regression models, without going into details here. But now it's all dynamic neural networks, so you can connect many more data points more dynamically, knowing much quicker your audience. But in general, we do need to build up knowledge first, post-install events, so purchases, a certain amount of purchases, until you can scale. And this is something, one of the major challenges. When people start working programmatically, then they're also pushed off from it if they don't get results after 2-3 weeks. When I say, oh, look, it's getting quite expensive, which is true, right? Google, Meta, you get performance out of the box almost. Now, the caveat there is, it's a walled garden. It's a black box to some, well, to big degree. In programmatic, you see exactly where you're buying, which publishers you're targeting. So with this, you get a really clear idea about your audience. So with this, you can, of course, then also adapt your creative strategy. Of course, it's important anyways to know your player motivations in order to create that strategy. But yeah, overall, so this is programmatic. You get massive reach, right? You can probably target beyond 1 billion device IDs. Of course, there are differences between Android and iOS in terms of the privacy regulations that there are. But overall, tremendous reach, transparency, no fraud. Almost, I mean, you can never escape the fraudsters fully, but typically the MMPs do a good job. And of course, the algorithms are anyways tuned towards optimizing for down funnel events. And that said, also a lot of advertisers still, they look beyond the CPI. But then if the CPA is still higher than the actual target, they might panic and don't give it time to optimize for ROAS. And that's something in terms of the concept that advertisers really need to embrace. Be patient. If your ROAS day 7 goal is 10-15%, ignore the CPA. It's going to come down gradually. Focus on the ROAS, and that's quite common in programmatic when people start with it. So then now in terms of the limitations, I guess, it's all about being patient. Budgets, of course, you need to have them to experiment a little bit, give it some time. I mentioned it takes about 3-4 weeks. So this is definitely a challenge for us from the vendor side, let's say. Then if we're looking into the marketing landscape, of course, we are competing with the walled gardens and with the SDK networks. Again, they have their own traffic. They can deliver performance probably quicker, but they can also play around a little bit with attribution. I mean, if you keep an eye on industry, there are a lot of reports about it. Depending on the attribution model that you have internally set up, you might undervalue the actual, the DSP, and we're losing a lot of attributions versus SDK networks, social search. So that's why I said at the beginning how important incrementality is to really assign the right value towards the other channels. Because yes, we should have programmatic for sure in a diversified marketing mix. I think that's about it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Bastian. That was very insightful. The next question I have is for Ksenia. So puzzle games often depend on long-term engagement. How do alternative distribution models and rewarded ad formats influence retention and monetization in Europe? And what are the main barriers publishers face in adopting these models at scale?
Thanks for the question. I think it's a pretty important one. And one of the biggest shifts that we are seeing right now is how user acquisition and alternative distribution are changing. So for years, everything was dependent mostly on traditional app stores and big networks, but that's no longer the only way. The battle that we all seen between Epic and Apple brought us many changes. So right now in the US, at least direct-to-consumer sales are a big trend. And to mention that already 57% of developers and big names like Playtika, Zynga, Supercell already have a web shop. So what does it mean specifically for users? That users right now can buy in-game items directly from the studio's web shops, definitely cheaper and bypassing platform commission. And at the same time, studios can keep around 30% margin, and afterwards they can reinvest this money into the user acquisition and of course into the better deals for users. Considering that we are talking about Europe, in Europe, it's still in progress. Digital Market Acts came into force, I think, in March 2024, but Apple and Google, they are still holding the compliances, but still just a matter of the nearest time when it will become really a big trend here in Europe. And I think also studios should consider it at the moment and implement. Another thing that also should be mentioned here is that advertisers are moving beyond the traditional networks. And we know that right now they're testing many networks, and it could be like around 20, 30 networks they're testing. And why they're doing this? Because they're looking for high quality users who will stay longer. And here where Rewarded also came into play, because yeah, for many of our partners at adjoe, I might say that Rewarded already makes up from 20 to 30% of their UA mix. And for some of my partners, they completely focus on Rewarded. And why is that? Because they see the true value, because players first choose to engage, and in return they get something valuable. They get different kind of discounts, bonuses just for playing their favorite games and progressing in these games. And of course, for advertisers, the benefit is also there because they have longer sessions, they have higher retention. That is really important, and I think was mentioned here. Higher ROAS and users who really engaged and more likely to spend. So I think we are at the moment of a big transition, and direct to consumer sales, web shops, alternative channels, Rewarded are reshaping how the puzzle game will grow in Europe in general. And also, I think who adjust fast will really get a big benefit. So fast adaptation is really important at the moment.
Thank you so much, Ksenia. Great analysis. So, Merchan, over to you. MagicLab has brought casual and puzzle games into a wide audience. So, how do you scale puzzle titles in such competitive markets? And how do you balance innovative design with sustainable monetization? And if possible, that would be amazing if you could share some examples from your recent projects also.
Thank you, by the way. Like, it is a very good question. So I think we realize that working with an alignment between product and marketing team is the really important one in the end, because we, as a marketing team, helps product team to generate users that are used to build the game itself and affect the gaming experiences directly. So in that time, we are trying to chase the networks and their styles and their user behavior so that we can understand what type of users they will bring in the long run. And we're trying to focusing on creating different type of segments in our games, both at the pre-install stage and the post-install stages, so that we can understand what they want and what we want from them. Because I know that those users, average revenue per user values in the long run is very different network to network, especially if it is about the rewarded channels and about the social channels and the SDK versions, etc. So making some sort of, segmentation is really helping us at the moment. So, and I'm suggesting all of the other publishers, other advertisers to focus on the segmentation all the time, because it is important. And also, I think during the, gaming scaling processes is that localized creatives and game experiences are the key to success, especially. And if you are trying to scale on non-English spoken countries, it is really important, because if your game's also having some sort of, text-based information all the time, it is really important to have some, localization, and also trying to trying to see what they want through those games, assets, let's say. And this way we have a chance to scale on those countries and generate pretty much good retained users. And also we believe that not only the revenue is important, but also the retention is the key to success here. And we believe that, let's say optimizing those two targets at the same time is crucial for us at the moment. And I think those are the things that I can say you at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for the insights. Chagate, over to you. So, what creative trends in Europe have proven most effective for puzzle games? How can developers balance proven creative formulas with experimenting on fresh ad concepts to keep players engaged and acquisition costs under control?
Yeah, thank you. It's a very great question. So I'll try to explain and elaborate things that I told like a minute ago. So in Europe, puzzle ads have really leaned into the short form video with brain challenge elements, like things like quick riddles, deliberate failure, or 99% of people got this wrong type creatives. These formats works well because they trigger curiosity and that let me try mentality. So we also see meme-driven edits and relatable life scenarios, like someone playing on the subway or before bed, resonating strongly with European audiences. But the challenge is that everyone using the same formats and formulas. So that leads to a creative fatigue and stars are dropping when the ads are all alike. So the balance comes from a mix of proven formulas and fresh testing. Proven templates like failure challenge or before and after comparisons are reliable for keeping CPIs under control. But at the same time, developers should always be running small-scale experiments with the new angles, story-driven creatives, AI-generated twists, or even live-action snippets. So what we have seen is that the top 2% of the creatives actually drive over half of the ad spend in gaming. So it's not about the producing more, it's about the producing smarter. So studios that keep a creative library of both tested winners and experimental variants and update them frequently are the ones that avoid fatigue and keep players engaged at a lower acquisition cost. So that's all.
Thank you so much for inspiring points. And Oleg, as both a designer and a consultant, what are the biggest design challenges puzzle games face in sustaining long-term engagement, and how can developers overcome them without hurting monetization?
Thank you very much. If I can, I simplify question a bit and just try to highlight the biggest challenge of puzzle game studios in the current times. So it's not in use that we are working and cooking in the world of cloning. So 99% of games are cloned, 99% of features in existing games are cloned. And this is how studios mostly work. Studios try to use proven approaches and use those safe methods to work and develop their products. The problem is when you take some game with great results, a part of, best of the best, their great results are not always mean they did all things right. Most often they did 1, 2, or 3 aspects very well. Then they most likely have great user acquisition, but that doesn't mean that they have all parts of their product brilliant and working at maximum efficiency. The real problem is it is most easy to clone, copy things that are not very valuable for the result, for the final revenue and engagement of the player. So like UI and some gameplay and features and order and timing or something, but it is very hard and sometimes impossible to clone things that actually works. Some things about tiny differences of level design, connections between features. So you may clone one feature of Royal Match and it will work on like 10% of efficiency of how it works in Royal Match. Why? For example, because in Royal Match, it is like 10 features and they are all interconnected with rewards and timing, carefully set the timings and things like that. This is extremely hard to clone. You must understand this as the first point. And winning companies, winning studios have a lot of such items, which is really hard to spot and clone. And we get into the situation, as we can see, 90+% of game never get profitable because they easy and quickly copy what doesn't work and can't copy what actually work and bring the value. So this is biggest challenge I see in the puzzle game design landscape right now. And this is what I really wanted to highlight. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the inspiring points, Oleg. Now let's move on to the last final question that I have also for everyone. So, if you could change one thing about how puzzle games are designed, marketed, or monetized for European players, what would it be? And how could it help puzzle games succeed in 2025? Bastian, please start us off.
Yeah, sure. I keep it short. I know we're conscious of time and want to give the audience a couple of minutes. Yeah, I'm going back to my first point. Incrementality. I think puzzle gamers have diversified their marketing mixes today, but it's all about evaluating them properly, do it in a fair way. I mentioned the differences between programmatic and the SDK networks. Talk to your BI to build, if they haven't yet, out a robust incrementality model. There are also external partners. We can help, other partners that can help. But yeah, brush up your knowledge. It's complicated. I think every company has their own incrementality models. So yeah, for this year, if you haven't done so yet, look into this.
Thank you so much. Ksenia, what would you change?
Actually, we have so many great players in the market, and they're doing such a great job with monetization and with having really innovative, cool products. So I won't change too many things, but one thing that I would suggest to improve a little bit, because I see that it is a bit of struggle, and it is how product and marketing teams work together. And in many studios, I see that some teams are still separated. The product is built first, and only later marketing team figure out how to promote it. So I think that products, user acquisition and monetization, they should really work close together. And what I mean here is that you should design for retention, market for quality users, and build monetization that definitely feels fair and feeds the market that you are targeting. That would be the my insights here.
Thank you. Merchan, what about you?
Yeah, I think I mean, all of the things are correct, by the way, on our sense. And I think on my side, focusing on from the general side to focusing on the regional creatives and monetization models may be the key changer here. And we are not even focusing on that much either also. Like tailoring your UA creatives for sub-regions, maybe some specific, cities even. So maybe you can generate some high quality users, and also adjusting your monetization strategies based upon the let's say regions, like flexibility of your in-app purchase bundles or your pricing strategies. If those were to be changed in the long run, maybe they could create some kind of different outcomes for us. I mean, it is a tough one, by the way, like doing all the things together. That's why not all companies can do this one. But if one thing I could change is that if we could focus on from regional to sub level side, or focusing on diving side, is the one that I think is the crucial thing that I could change.
Thank you so much. Jagate, your thoughts on this topic?
So, if I could change one thing, it would be like the over reliance on generic monetization and ad formulas in puzzle games. Like too many titles still depend on the same match 3D with rewards loop and the same ad creatives, failure challenges, before and after progress bar, and that's leading a fatigue among the European players who are very savvy. So I'd like to see is more personalization and more smarter monetization. For example, integrating light progression systems, so social competition, or even adaptive difficulty can extend player engagement well beyond the first few sessions. And on the marketing side, leveraging the custom product page playables are very important, and authentic testimonials instead of only chasing clickbaits could build stronger trust with audience. So in 2025, the studios that stop chasing short-term installs and instead design and market around the long-term retention and trust will be the ones who will stand out and scale successfully.
Thank you so much. And Oleg, what about you? What would you change?
Thank you. I understood the question like if you have magic wand. So it was more like imaginary experiment. So I know this answer will make mad a lot of people, but in my imaginary experiment, I would forbid interstitial like globally at all forever. No interstitial, no ads. Why? Because this is a part of the old concept born like long ago when we shifted from premium games, and many years, decades ago, we still try to build premium game and try to sell it, but not so obviously. This conception slowing down our industry and holding it hold it back. So instead of thinking of what I can offer to the player, how I can create game situation when player will need something from me, thousands of studios choose this easy way and just rush into the market with those most of the times not profitable conception. So absolute most of them will evolve or die. No ads can sell only those studios who already can sell rewarded odds and in-app purchases. So in the world when interstitials like forced, any type of forced ID will be totally forbidden, the evolution of the game design, game economies, game market will increase significantly, and this is probably what it's like my mission and work to keep these things carrying on. This is what I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Oleg. I would also like to add my own perspective to this question. And if I could change one thing, I would reshape how developers approach monetization. Because too often puzzle games rely on outdated models with no personalization or very little personalization that is no longer match player expectations, not only in Europe, but actually worldwide. But let's talk about Europe. And also, I believe that the future lies in more personalized player-first monetization powered by machine learning or AI in real time. Because by tailoring offers to the right players at the right moments, studios can boost engagement, strengthen loyalty, unlock sustainable growth, and boost all these metrics that you mentioned today with us during the webinar. And why I'm talking about this, because at Elevatix, we're already helping studios implement these systems, and the results are very promising. So stop treating your players the same, even if they're from the one location. It doesn't mean that their player behavior is the same, and that your monetization models will work the same exactly for everyone. And let's move on to the Q&A part. I saw that we have a couple of questions, so I think we can take these couple of questions and stay a little bit longer, maybe 5 minutes more. The first question is, as puzzle games often rely on proven ad formats, where do you see the biggest opportunities for innovation in creative strategy without losing effectiveness? Any volunteers? Bastian turned off his camera, so it means he doesn't want to answer this question. Jagata, I see that your microphone is on. Please go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, I can quick answer this question. So for puzzle games, how the traditional relied on proven ad formats. I was trying to elaborate on this on the previous question. So like brain teasers, deliberate failures, the casual hooks, but they can use these kind of hooks and they can deliver the predictable results. But the biggest opportunity for the innovation is now how we layer storytelling, reliability, relatability actually, and interactivity on the top of these proven hooks. So, for example, we are seeing strong performance from the everyday life scenarios, live action snippets that makes ads feels more authentic and less repetitive. So playable ads are another big opportunity that they can pre-qualify users, reduce wasted impressions, and improve retention right from the day one. So, and AI also can help here too. So by generating quick creative variations and testing them at scale. So we have also a feature that can provide the AI prompts on ad creatives on our dashboard, SocialPeta. So it will help marketing artists to test the creatives models. So the key is not abandoning the proven formulas, but refreshing them with the new angles, whether it's emotional, storytelling, humor, or interactive formats. That balance, that balance keeps CPIs under control while still surprising players enough to keep them engaged.
Thank you so much. Yes, Oleg, please.
Mhm. I would like to add some semi-joke answer. Was a podcast on Half Into Gamer last I saw. They looked for a game, yarn game, with giant portfolio of creatives, and I saw this like strategy or something with dancing bears or some little GIF animations placed right in front of the actual ad, and this was funny and ridiculous and stupid, but I believe it's really works. So the answer here is to be brave and have crazy experiments. Crazy is the first word in AD in all time. And don't be afraid to try something more, something beyond the border. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, that's true. And I see that we have also the second question. And maybe because Bastian tried to run from us away, maybe he will be the first to answer it. So let's see. When scaling puzzle games in Europe, what signals do you look for to decide if a title is worth pushing further? So who wants to step up? Okay, Bastian.
No, I was just saying I want to pass that on to the game developers. Actually, I think they have much more insights
Yeah,
than us.
that's true. Oleg, maybe you have something to add here.
I don't know. It's quite textbook thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
look at their intention. Do you have, I don't know, basic 40% of day one retention, and if you have 15% of day seven retention, these classic values, it's good signs and good ways of deciding is it worth to go forward. Look at the playtime session. Basically, if you already have some monetization on this initial step, compare it to the existing case. So there is definitely no like template solution, because you can find a lot of templates what is good borderline, but I believe every project is unique, and there is something that got into your MVP and was measured, and there is something that didn't got to your MVP. If you have some extremely strong proven meta in your mind, which will definitely enforce game very hard, and you're ready to risk, you may low down these borders and launch, try to continue develop the game with not brilliant results, and maybe the opposite, like that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have the last question for today because we're running a little bit out of time. So the last question is, do you see cultural differences in how European players respond to rewarded ads compared to other regions? Who wants to step up?
To the rewarded, probably it goes to me.
Okay.
I think I'm just thinking right now, analyzing what I see rewarded. Maybe if we think about Germany and US, probably the users behave more or less the same. I wouldn't say that they behave pretty much different. So yes, they engage with the game, they progress in the game, they get rewards, so pretty much the same. But considering maybe interactions in Eastern European, but I can't say that we have a big test there. But pretty much the same, I might say, in case of tier 1 countries.
I believe.
Interesting. Yes.
Thank you, Ksenia. I believe you can observe some differences between countries in interaction with rewarded ID, but most likely it's not related to the mechanism of rewarded ID itself. Most likely it related to what you offered for rewarded ID. So maybe in some country, people can be a little bit more not giving up on something, and they don't want to they want to complete level more like for 2 persons, more likely to complete level for themselves without boosters or something like that. Or you sell them something, some item with some visual which is not good, have not good associations visual in their country, something like that. So you can see some difference in AD, but I don't think this related to the AD. It's like AD is like the money. It's like little bit tiny money, and in most of the locations they are treated the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that brings us to the end of our today's session. Huge thanks to all of our incredible speakers, Bastian, Ksenia, Merchan, Jagate, and Oleg. Thank you for your time and insights and expertise. And to our audience, thank you for joining us today. And I hope you're leaving with some fresh ideas and strategies to apply in your own puzzle game projects or in the future ones. We dropped our LinkedIn details to the chat, so please everyone connect with our speakers. If you have some questions that are specifically for someone you want to talk to, I believe the guys will accept your request on LinkedIn and will answer you as soon as they can. And on behalf of SocialPeta and Elevatix also, it's been a real pleasure moderating this discussion. Stay curious, keep innovating, and I look forward to seeing many of you at the future industry events in real life. And that's all for today. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, and I wish everyone amazing ends of the summer. Enjoy these last couple of days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you
rest
very
of the day,
much.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.